most famous physical therapist on the internet.
Hi, folks. I'm Bob Schrupp, physical therapist.
Brad Heineck, physical therapist.
Together we are the most famous physical therapists on the internet.
In our opinion, of course, Bob.
Today, Brad, we're going to talk about how does an inversion table, teetering or hanging upside down, in parentheses, help back pain? And you're going to run the show today.
Right. I used to use one of these. I
To
did
some success, right?
Right. I did some research with it. I think they can be a good instrument to use for back pain.
Kind of adjunct.
Right. So we're going to talk about that. And then at the end, there's some people who definitely should not be using it. There's a high risk. And we'll get into that as well. So
you want to stick around to the end to make sure that you don't fall in that category.
Exactly.
Of the ones that shouldn't use it. By the way, if you're new to our channel, please take a second to subscribe to us. We provide videos on how to stay healthy, fit, pain-free, and we upload every day. Also, you want to join us on our social media channels. Today, I think we're giving away some of our T-shirts and stuff like that. Oh,
wonderful.
And maybe, I don't know, maybe one of our mugs. You know, we got our ugly mugs on the mug, right?
There you go. I like that.
Yeah, so join us go to bobandbrad.com and go to our giveaway section.
Sure.
It's always listed there. You can also go to Facebook, Bob and Brad. It's always pinned at the top of the page.
Okay,
so
good.
Join us.
Excellent. Okay, inversion table, some people call it teetering, basically hanging upside down, but what it really is doing is putting traction on the lumbar spine. It's just a different way about going about it. It's
there's actually devices that you can buy that will perform traction on
right, without hanging upside down. Now I lost my train of thought.
I just completely, this is my fault. I cut them off.
That's okay. So. But anyways, hanging, teetering. We just did decompression. That's right. This could also be called decompression. We've got a video out that's going crazy with that as well.
Yeah.
So how does it work and why does it work? The theory is, now we're going to look at this first.
Okay.
We don't have an inversion table here, but we really don't need one to explain how they work.
Right.
Here we have the blue part is the frame of them. Here's the floor. And this, I'm an artist, Bob.
I see that.
You can see it's very prominent.
You're an artist in your own mind
Leonardo
and in your own
da Vinci Heineck.
Yeah.
Anyways, so 60 degrees is where I used to always go. Inversion totally, I always say that is you're putting your body at quite a bit of a risk. I would never do that the first time you get on there, for sure.
Sure.
I would always start here, and you can look at the instructions on at least the one I had that came with it. They talked about total inversion. I never went that far. I didn't need it. I had plenty of traction at about 60 degrees.
You got relief at that level.
So let's look at what's happening with the spine when you invert and you get that gravity pulling on your lumbar spine because you got the weight of your trunk, your arms, and your head, which is over 50% of your body weight in most cases, working on that lumbar spine. So let's take
the spine first.
Well, let's look at the spine first. So obviously, we only have the spine. We got the trunk and the head. And if we invert, maybe we can get up a little closer here, Bob and Liz. Are we doing okay? So we'll look at the red disc. That just represents that's the area of problem where there's a disc herniation. And we're going to do a nice demo on this too. So if you're hanging and it pulls, are you able to see the separation? We just get a little separation in there, and there's actually extra space. Now, this isn't exactly how it happens in the human body, but you get the idea. The traction, the weight of the body puts the traction on there. Liz, you're looking okay.
So you can also, because you're even opening the frame in a little bit.
Sure.
And there's capsules around there that we call it that you can stretch them a little bit.
Sure.
So,
and you'll get the muscles in the area.
Right. They're all going to lengthen too.
And you need to learn how to use these. When you're inverted, you need to learn to relax and let the muscles relax. That doesn't happen right away for most people, but most people catch on to it pretty quick, I have a feeling. So if we look at the two vertebrae and the disc that is causing the problem, this represents the disc. Here's L4. We'll call this one L4 and L5. And if you have a bulging disc like this.
A bulging or a herniated disc.
Yep. Do you see that? Okay. Now, if that's like that, now when we put that traction on the inversion table, the idea is that it pulls up and allows that herniation or that bulge to centralize or go back in where it belongs, taking the pressure off the nerve. Therefore, less pain. So I always tell people, if you're going to use one, you should experience immediate relief while you're inverting
Right.
and throughout the whole time. And then when you get done with it and you get off the table, you should continue to feel relief.
Hopefully you have some carryover.
Right, some carryover. On the other hand, if you get off the table and it hurts and it's like, oh, I'm not sure if that helped, I would not even consider it.
Because what is it worthwhile to get relief only while you're on it?
Right.
I mean, you want to have some.
And it could make it worse. If it does make it worse, then it's a red flag.
Yeah, then it could be something else besides a disc problem.
Right.
You know, and that's something that doesn't feel good to have it stretched. So
Exactly.
Right.
So listen to your body. It's one of those things that should feel good while you're doing it, and then
some carryover.
Right. And I'll give a little word of caution. When I first got my table, I tried it out in the store first. And it's like I tilted back. Oh, it felt good. So I bought it, took it home, and I did it again. And I went for 5 minutes at 60 degrees. It was feeling good. I thought, well, the longer the better,
Yeah,
I thought.
that's right.
Well, I got off there and I had a headache for the rest of the night.
Wow.
So then I went to 30 seconds. I went up to 60 seconds. And then I went 2-3 minutes at the most. And I get all temporary relief. In other words, it feel good while I was on it, and it would last a little bit longer throughout the day, but my back pain would come back, and that's exactly what the studies show. It shows temporary relief, but for me, it was worth it.
When you say temporary, how many hours?
I'd say after I'd get off of it, if I did it in the evening, it'd carry into the evening. I'd go to bed and I'd still have relief.
So that's pretty good relief.
Yeah, it would be a couple hours typically.
Sure. And Brad has spondylolisthesis.
Right.
And do you have anything else? Do you have
a little
stenosis?
Stenosis. Right. I don't have a bulging disc, but either way, if you got back pain, the rules are the same. If it works, use it. If it doesn't give relief, do not.
And learn from his mistake of don't completely invert too
Right.
long for the first time.
Which leads us into the big red flags, the precautions when you do not even want to consider this is, and this is, I found this in a number of studies and literature,
Gotcha.
and I'm going to take it from Dr. Edmund Laskowski from the Mayo Clinic here in Rochester. And this is a paraphrase from a couple paragraphs that he wrote.
You're summarizing.
Yep,
basically.
summarizing.
Yeah.
He concurred with the temporary relief.
Gotcha.
He didn't say you shouldn't use it. He said temporary relief. It's not a long-term
Gotcha.
thing. Number 2, if you have cardiac problems, high blood pressure, any types of cardiac issues, you're probably going to not want to do it.
Well, I definitely want to get it approved by your doctor first.
Right,
I mean,
exactly.
Your cardiologist, because you don't want to mess with that.
Right.
I mean,
I would just stay away from it.
I
But
would
if you want to call the doctor, that would be a good, a must. Because what happens, your heart rate slows down, your blood pressure goes up naturally when you invert. It's just the natural response of the body.
If you're at risk already for a heart issue, I mean, you don't want to make it worse.
Exactly.
So.
And in my case, I got the headache when I inverted too long. And then if you got glaucoma or some problem with your eyes, what happens when you invert, the pressure in your eyeballs actually goes up. So if there's an issue where you've got a lesion or some kind of health problem with your eyes, that's a big red flag as well. Do not work with it.
All makes sense, don't
right.
they? Yeah.
Yeah. So, and the other thing, once again, the full inversion, I've always wondered, you have to trust the mechanics that it's going to hold your ankles in there, because if your feet slip out of there, you don't put them in properly, you land on your head.
Yeah, down you go.
Yeah, and that could be a major problem.
I wonder what their incidence of problems like that are. But,
I've always wondered about that.
Obviously, if you're fully inverted, you are going to get a little more traction.
Right.
I mean,
I agree with it, but
is it worth the extra risk?
Well, because I got plenty of, at 60 degrees. Another thing is they'll show you on the videos when you're hanging fully inverted to do twisting.
Yeah, I wouldn't do that.
And the kind of sit-ups, and they're saying it's going to loosen up the muscles. But if you got back pain and you're inverted and you got traction, and then you introduce some more stress, I won't do it.
I would highly recommend against that.
Yeah. So I think that should answer everyone's questions, hopefully, about the inversion table. We've got another video that goes into more
how to use it.
How to use it, right? A little more detail.
Right.
So you can go Bob and Brad inversion table, and that'll pop up as well. So
very good.
Now, Bob, do you think this fits into our?
Yeah, Brad and I can fix just about anything
except for
a broken heart.
But I don't think this is going to fit.
No, this might be worse on the heart.
Yeah, I don't know what to say.
Worse on a broken heart.
Well, good luck anyways.
Thanks for watching.